official form, a proper document, recently the term women's problems. And I thought, really, women's problems in 2016? I thought, why doesn't it just say periods or menstruation? There's nothing wrong with those words. Just say there's nothing wrong with the actual thing. It's a perfectly normal and natural part of life, nothing to be ashamed of. Seems peculiar to me. So what I've decided to do, and you can come with me if you like, I've decided to bypass the word periods if people find it so offensive, and I'm going to say this instead. So somebody says to me, are you all right? I'm going to go, oh, I'm clotting. For periods are really horrible, so gross and such a bad reflection of how normal it is. So if clotting horrifies you, I get it. So I've made up another one. This is lighter, a bit more playful. Maybe this will appeal to you a bit more. This is it. It's WY week because I'm making jam. Do you get it? Do you get it? Some of you are more horrified by that than you were by clotting. That's hilarious. I think I've ruined afternoon teas for all of us. Sorry about that. I read a good statistic recently that said that 67% of women, so 2/3 of women, don't bath or shower every day. And because I bath or shower every day, my first reaction was, that's disgusting. And my second reaction was to start sniffing my friends. And my third reaction was, well, if they're not doing it, I'm not going to fucking do it. But to be fair, I mostly bath or shower every day. Every now and again, though, if I'm running late or I've got an early appointment or I've slept in, I'll do instead what my mum would refer to as a flannel job. Now, this is a tip for the women in the room who do have pubic hair. The next time you do a flannel job, if you do it in a circular motion, you can afro it right up. It's really fun. It's not a joke. It's just a tip for you to take home and try. And in a room of this size, at least be like 20, 30 women. They'll be like tomorrow morning going, I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a go. Massive pants. Recently, I read a survey that said that in heterosexual couples, men don't think that women initiate sex. And I thought, I don't think that's true. I think women initiate sex. I think maybe we don't call it that. Initiating sex sounds like something you do on a rocket, doesn't it?
Initiating sex. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I think women initiate sex. I think maybe men aren't always so good at picking up the signals. Maybe that's where the communication falls down. So a bloke would be like,
yeah, she was lying on the bed. She had her hair all sort of fanned out on the pillow. She had a tiny towel on so I could basically see everything. And she just put lipstick on, which is weird because she just got out of the bath. But I decided to initiate sex. 5, 4, 3.
Can I just stop you there in the middle of a countdown, Flower? I started ages ago. You weren't even in the fucking room when I started. That chat that you have sometimes before sex and occasionally during sex, that bit of chat. I think if you've been together a long time, that chat should come with terms and conditions attached, don't you think? So if you say something like, you can do whatever you want to me, what you really mean is, of the 4 things we normally do, within the parameters we've already set. But interesting, don't you think, that there's often chat before and during sex, but very little chat after sex, just sort of no-night, or like,
I'm going to have a piss as soon as this thing flattens.
That's it. Or maybe something like, oh, get us a biscuit while you're up. Or even something like, is the dog still staring? I had a sore throat for a bit too long and I went to see my doctor. My doctor said I'm going to send it to see a specialist, an ear, nose and throat specialist. I said, OK. So I forgot to see this fella, lovely fella he was. He said to me, do you suffer from acid reflux? And I said, no. And then when I got home, I thought I should have said yes, because I realised that my husband and I eat so many Rennies that we call them bathroom sweets. And he said to me, I'd like you to take Gaviscon after every meal. I said, after every meal, every time I've eaten, because those two are very different numbers. He said, ideally, I'd like to put a camera down your throat so we can have a look at what we're dealing with. I said, OK. And I thought, this is a bit where he sends me away and I come back in 6 months with a new appointment. And he went, no, we can do that now. Oh, shit. So he came out with this contraption, metal like this and metal like this. The main thing you need to know is that it's very rigid, none of it moves. So I have to move because it won't move. And he puts it down my throat and I instantly gagged. And he he pulled it out and he said, are you going to be okay with this? And I said, yes. And he put it back in again. He was mortified. He said, do me a favour. The next time you think you're going to gag, do this. I said, why? He said, it stops you gagging. And I thought, noted. Going to think he's being sucked off by a Geordie pensioner. And who knows, someday he might be. No, I mean that will be pensioners. I don't mean like for a present.
Come on in, Doris. He's ready for his gift now. Happy birthday to you.
I've got a good duck fact for you. You might not know this. The duck penis is a corkscrew. So if you ever see a couple of ducks trying to have sex in the park, just give them a hand. Just give them a hand. And you know when he's finished, because his wings will go up like that. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're well. I'm also well. I had a migraine a few weeks ago. I don't get them often enough to worry about, but I do get them every now and again. And I thought I'll go on Twitter, and I'll ask people on Twitter how they get rid of their migraines. Give us a cheer if you are on Twitter. Quite a few, and I got the usual sort of expected responses, and then my favourite one came up, and it said 2 Nurofen and a wank. And it totally worked. If anything, it just pushed the throbbing down a bit. Thanks, at Boots the Chemist.